slowly rolling into it, and off of corner number 4. It's showtime at Skagit Speedway. It's showtime!
One car with the front of it that was junk, and another car with the back of it was junk. So I cut both of them in half, took the good part of one car and the good part of the other car, and welded them together.
The reason why I decided to move to Sean's number and use it was just because in memory of Sean was his V8, and I just kind of lived for racing and racing with his number just to remember him by.
Racing, and next thing you know, she's on the flag stand running the, doing flag, and on my quarterback, I'm like, where did you come from?
You definitely have to want it. You can't just say you want it. You got to want it. You got to have that desire that drives you.
I hope they just soak it all in, because you don't know when it could be over, right? You might, mom and dad can't do this anymore, right? We don't have the money, or we can't find the sponsors, whatever it is. I just soak it all up while it's happening.
That was at Elma. This is a different track. I don't think it'll be the same thing. He's like, oh, okay, you can throw it on. We threw the GoPro on his car, and he actually did pretty good that night, I believe. So we're like, see, I convinced him. I was like, see, it's only at Elma. You can't run a GoPro. And then the next week, I believe he blew up a motor with the GoPro on. So I haven't put a GoPro on his car since then.
Well, welcome into this week's edition of On the Gas, a Skagit Speedway podcast. This week, Blake Anderson, Erik List. We're joined by two car owners, longtime car owners of Skagit Speedway, but even more than that, you guys have ran USAC. We're joined by Bob and Lori Scott, owners, most notably now of Shane Smith's Midget, but a vast and expansive racing career spread among the both of you, 50-plus years probably, and that doesn't even maybe do it justice. But first, let's just kind of start out. How did you guys get your start in racing? You grew up in California, correct, or are from California, that area?
Well, we had a close friend that was also the best man in our wedding. His name was Rick, and Rick had a Curtis Offey Midget, and we used to go watch him race, and it was just great. And on the way home one night, Lori said, you've always wanted to race. Why don't we get a car? The next day I had a race car.
Good idea, Lori.
Famous last words.
Yeah, look what you started. Here we are, how many years later, and you still have race cars.
Oh, it's crazy.
Sure.
It really is, yeah.
So what year was that then?
That was in the 70s.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly how, but it was early 70s.
What was your first race car? What'd you get?
Well, it was a Formula V, and we raced SCCA.
Okay.
And we did that for about 5 years until I was too aggressive, and they fined me because I had a two-wheel deviation on turn 4 at Laguna Seca for the win. Okay, which was, kind of maddening. So anyway, we had a friend that had I guess it was a Sprint modified. Okay, that's a square rail, bottom rails. And he said, no, I don't like this. This is too scary. I used to race stock cars. Would you take it? And I said, sure. So we started off there at Chico way back in the 70s, and we raced that for a number of years until I guess it was the World of Outlaws came to town with their 410 cubic inch engines, and we went that way with a sprint car. And we raced 410 sprints until probably 2000 at Chico and Skagit, because we came up here in 1984.
So did you guys move up here in 84, or did you still live in California and kept a car up here, or how'd that work out?
Well, go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, no, we just fell in love with Skagit Valley when we came up here in 84, and we started looking for property. And we couldn't move. We were working and needed to finish everything up. My folks were still there and needed care. But anyway, so we bought our piece of property a mile and a half north of Skagit Speedway. And we built a shop on it. In 87 we started, and then every year we'd come up for Dirt Cup, and we'd spend 3 weeks up here building on the place. And finally we ended up with that big shop and a little apartment upstairs, and so that's how it sat until 2004 when we were able to move up here.
Okay.
That's cool. I mean, you don't hear that. Especially back then, you didn't hear people doing that too. Now you hear guys, that'll leave a car up somewhere, but I feel like back then that was kind of ahead of the curve. You guys are trendsetters.
So you were owner and racers at the same time, correct? Did you own your own car and race it while also owning one for USAC? Or did it kind of transition out of racing into more the ownership side?
Well, we did both, actually. We started racing USAC in probably, was it 97, 98, something like that? Mm-hmm. And we had a friend, it was another story, who said, we're getting up in age, and it's a lot easier to run asphalt than it is on dirt. We're getting beat up pretty bad. And that was Mike McCrary. And so he said, okay, let's give it a try. So we started running USAC, fell in love with it, did pretty darn well, and until 2000. And then we got a call from some guy by the name of Tony Stewart. I don't know who he is, but
I didn't get me either.
who said he had a driver by the name of Tony Hunt. And Tony, Tony needed a ride because I guess it was a Silver Crown car that was going to be ready for him, and it wasn't ready. So he asked me, would you mind if we took your brand new beast car out for the first trip at Irwindale? And we said, I don't know. What do you think, Lori? So we put Tony Hunt in the car. Guess what? He won. Okay. I had not won in the first 2 years, but he gets in it and wins. So that took care of that. So he said, well, do you mind if it's not ready yet, the car that Tony had? Could I stay and maybe possibly run your car for a few more races? And I said, well, okay, let's give it a try. Well, long story short, we won the championship. We raced at Turkey Night, won Turkey Night, set fast time.
Oh, wow.
It was just incredible. So from that point on, it really sparked interest in what we were doing. Mm-hmm. And we got calls from all over, including Australia, all number of places that wanted to drive for us. And we looked at each other and said, we have one car, but if we had two, that would even be better. Lori said, no way. We had two cars.
You got to understand, we did everything ourselves. People came to the tracks, but we would haul, travel, get everything ready. And then we had a couple of crews eventually that showed up when it was time to race, and they helped us with everything at the track. But it was all on us. So it was a lot of work. And
with Tony Hunt driving, is it Tony Hunt that was the stunt driver now and did all the driving in Ford versus Ferrari?
That's correct.
I was thinking that was Tony,
Yeah. And Tony's dad, Tom, had sponsored Bob when he was racing many years before. So it was kind of a family thing anyway. It ended up being really cool. And Tony traveled with us for the whole year. We had a truck and trailer then, and he traveled with us most of the time. And so it worked out really well. We stayed with his aunt and uncle in Utah. We just, we had a good time. It was really fun. And we won the championship. You can't hardly beat that.
Can't beat that at all.
And to win Turkey Night, I mean,
that was amazing.
The history of racing in Turkey Night is... The history of that event is incredible. Right. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
To be on that list is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, we loved it. It's one of my favorites. That trophy's still in the house.
Yeah.
And now, rest in peace, Irwindale. Unfortunately, just an incredible facility that
it was.
How many movies and commercials and everything filmed out there as well.
That's kind of
true. Right.
A neat place that. Now
and when we
gone.
first started racing there, it was kind of a switch. The movie stars would come there and watch us, and it was a bizarre thing.
Did you get to run Ascot then at all, or get to Ascot?
Did not get to run Ascot. They closed it down before it turned into a parking lot.
Yeah. I've seen the pictures. It's a similar like Manzanita now. That's kind of. It's not a parking lot, but it's like an industrial zone now. Mm-hmm. It's like all that history is gone. But no, that's incredible. That's neat that Tony Hunt, and what he's gone on to do, and to win that event is pretty impressive.
But I got to tell you one story. However, when we first started running USAC, we were supposed to run at Phoenix on the mile.
Okay.
And so I asked Steve Beitler, who was kind of a close friend. He had raced with us all for a number of years, and he was helping sponsor kind of the pieces and parts on the car, since we had a beast at that particular time. And he said, I've run a mile before. Have you, Bob? And I said, never. And I'm a little concerned about it. He says, well, why don't you let me try? So we put Steve Beitler in the car for the very first race at Irwindale ever. And it was great. It was really fun. And he led, I think, the first 15 laps.
I wanted to ask you about that. He did lead 20 laps. So I was talking, and then right rear tire went flat. It was going down anyways.
It was.
He used it up.
Oh, he used it up. That's not fully how it felt.
Tim Green was announcing it at that particular time, and they were all excited because we have a World of Outlaw driver here, And he was watching Steve, and he said, he's doing really well, but I don't think he's going to last. He's pitching that car.
He's using the tires up.
Yeah, Steve had told me the right rear went down. So.
Well, I think it went totally down.
Two sides to every story, right?
He used it up. Well.
It was a lot of fun. But Steve was a
yeah.
kick on that, I tell you. Really, trying to get him out of the car so I could drive was really difficult.
How long did you have beast cars? I mean, especially on pavement, the beast cars just went.
That's a story in itself, too. When we first started life, like I said, Mike McCreary was saying, you got to do this. This is fantastic. And he was taking just a regular dirt car and modifying it for asphalt.
Okay.
And I was talking with JB from JB Enterprises back in Sacramento, and he said, no, Bob, you can't do that. You need, if you're going to run asphalt, you got to get an asphalt car. So we found an asphalt car back in Florida. Mm-hmm. So we had it shipped halfway, and we met him halfway, and we picked up this beast car. And we got to the track. There was only 2 of us that had beast cars at that time, Bud Kading and us. Guess what happened? We both went ahead.
Yeah, they just...
And they hated us. They really did, not Bud and them. But the rest of the group said, you just cost us a fortune.
Those cars went on pavement. They just... I mean, Bob East made him, and Bob was he's a magician when it comes to that kind of stuff. And his son, Bobby was an incredible pavement racer that had a cup of tea in NASCAR, and then the money kind of, at that point, things changed. But, man, the beast cars on pavement, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, were just unbeatable.
Really?
Yeah. We had the big body beast, and it was just absolutely super. We got several of them and wrecked several of them.
Beautiful race cars.
Oh, they're gorgeous, yeah.
They are.
And then I won an Eagle at the banquet.
Okay.
And Bob turned it into a Beagle because we wanted all the beast stuff. So.
Yeah, the bees, yeah.
But I got to tell you one story for Lori here, and that is we were back in Indianapolis for an awards banquet, with USAC, and it was really incredible. You see all the IndyCar drivers and everything, and here we are with USAC, and Lori got a special award, one of the 6 most influential women in racing.
Wow.
Oh, that's
congratulations.
great.
Yeah.
There weren't any women in racing. That's okay. I'll take it.
There you go.
But Lori was a spotter on top of all the towers and everything with all the kids when we had the driver development program.
Yep.
And it was amazing to watch her. She took care of everything. And the kids, they all just looked at Lori as mom. Yeah.
You bring up some of Lori's spotting. I had talked to Shane, and that's kind of how, when he first met you was 04 Turkey Night, and you were spotting. How long did you spot for? What kind of was that like?
Well, really the whole time that we had drivers that actually came to us, and either them or their parents mostly wanted us to, get the cars ready and have everything ready and help them with their driving and explain to them how the whole thing worked. So really that whole time, so from 2000 until 2007 or 9 when we finally quit. And actually that last year or so I didn't do any spotting or anything. Ron Sutton was coaching the kids, and so he came too and did his own thing, which was fine. So it was just us and the cars.
One thing I've talked to several people about you guys, and I feel like the first thing that comes up is Bob and Lori's stuff is immaculate. I mean,
I hear that, yeah.
The bolts on the car, absolutely immaculate. Has it always been that way? Is that from the start you guys just made a point to have just the cleanest of everything on the race cars?
There's a story.
We like stories.
When we started running SCCA, they had you had to go into impound. Okay, and they checked everything. Okay, and they made sure that everything was just perfect. And we learned from that. And when we started running sprint cars, the first time we went to the track at Chico, we pulled in and says, "Well, where's tech?" And they said, "What?" And I said, "Where are you going to tech the car?" He says, "If you're willing to drive it, and you're stupid enough to do it, do it." But what we did at that particular time, we learned from SCCA. We mark every bolt, every race with a different color, so I don't miss anything.
Wow.
And so we've been carrying on that ever since we've been racing sprint cars.
And SCCA was really as strange a group as it was for us. I don't know that we were a good fit, but anyway, they really taught us a lot. They had ground school, they had race school. You did everything through them, and that was where I really got involved, because the women of SCCA were involved. They did all the paperwork, they did all the scoring, they did all the talking to the drivers and listening and everything else, and it was a great experience.
Were you interested in racing before you even met Bob at all? Was there an interest for you at all?
No, I was into horses.
Horsepower.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, there was a connection there.
What is SCCA?
Yes, the Southern California Car Club of America. Am I right about that?
Okay.
Something like that.
Some legendary racers came out of SCCA, especially back through the 70s and
right. And it really was fun. I mean, we got a chance to race with a lot of famous people. Different groups, but Paul Newman for one.
I'll say Paul Newman is synonymous with SCCA.
That's
I've
right.
got one of his books that he talks about running
right next to him.
Yeah.
Oh, a story.
Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah, we like that.
We were racing at Portland International Raceway, and I had the Formula V, and it was a good car. It was a good car, and it really went through the turns really nicely. But he was running one of his Datsuns that was just incredible, turbocharged and everything, fire coming out of it, and we're racing on the same track, and I could hear him coming. And when he went by, I went, "Oh my God, we're going to get killed!" But anyway, we got to race with Paul Newman on the racetrack in Portland. It was really kind of fun. And then parked next to him. And he was just a regular guy.
So was he just a normal guy when he was at the racetrack? Never would guess that it's Paul Newman?
Yeah.
Nope.
Same thing with Tony Stewart, when he'd come in with a helicopter and he'd get out and start working on the car. And I'm going, that's cool.
I mean, Tony, I worked for Tony for 10 years before I moved out here in December, or 2 years ago. And I mean, Tony was always very hands-on.
Yeah.
Very hands-on. And he was just... He enjoyed his money, but at the end of the day, you wouldn't guess it was a guy that had a ton of money, because he just wants to work on race cars and fish and be just a normal guy. Go into town and eat at Dairy Queen. But that sounds like Tony. Drop in and get hands-on. I mean, when he started, he had to be. He was sleeping on couches and had to wrench on cars to make it make sense for a guy to Ralph Potter to hire him.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It was great to see him.
Yeah, those SCCA days, I mean, business was booming for them back then.
Oh, yes,
it was. It was.
So, Bob, for you then, we talked off air, 1984, right, is the year that you came to Skagit. And what was that like coming to run Skagit for the first time?
It was fantastic. We had a group of people that raced at Chico that we just really hung out with. When you're a driver, you have the connection. When you're an owner, you know the drivers, but you're not connected because we're a little bit older than they are. So we had a lot of good friends that came up, and we came up as a group. And going through Seattle, we were all over the place trying to figure out where we were going. We finally wound up at Deming Speedway because the entrance form said Deming. We didn't know that. So we were out there in the field somewhere. We finally asked a farmer. He said, no, you got to go back into Burlington, and you'll find it. And so we went back. But we had a great time. And we found out that the racing was pretty good. I mean, it was really great. And we had a chance to look at the track, and we were sitting there in the stands, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And the owner, of course, was walking around the track, hand watering, and I just couldn't believe it. It was just beautiful. And the track was so sticky. It was just incredible.
I was going to ask you if you saw Jim Raper out there watering with his hose, because that's just what Jim's famous for, is water his track with his hose.
One story. And that is, I was in the stands, and I was sitting down, and there were some older people sitting next to us, and I just looked at the track, and I said, this is absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful facility. He says, you think so? And I said, it is. And he says, my name is Jim Raper. I had no idea who he was. I mean, he had coveralls on and everything.
Yeah. And it's changed a lot since then. I mean, you guys were here when the track got reconfigured, when Steve reconfigured it and put the new lights in. We're posting old races on our YouTube channel now, and Erik and I are going through them. And the one thing that sticks out to me is it was pretty dark. And then when Steve got a hold of the track in 2000, I think 2001, he put new lights in and really brought the place to life.
Sure, that's true.
Yep.
But that was those old videos. They're dark.
I bet they are.
Was it tough from a racing standpoint with how dark it was, or was it?
Is it normal?
You know, I think it was normal because more of the tracks that we used to race were pretty darn dark.
Okay.
You know, they were candle lit.
Did you guys run much when you're in California? Your 410s in the 80s? Did you run much with Narc King of the West back then? You know, with Leroy Van Conant,
you got it.
Brent Kadings,
and I ran with Howard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. HK. Yeah.
Okay, Bud. Okay, and Tim
and
Bud. And so we ran with them all. It was amazing. So I got the chance to run with all the Kadings. And it was fun. It was just a lot of fun. Did we run NARC? Not as much because they traveled more. But when they came to Chico, we'd run 3 or 4 races, something like that a year. We had 3 children, and we had to take care of their needs first, and Lori's needs. And and I had to be real careful, you know. But
the kids have much interest in racing at all?
All 3 girls. We had go-karts and everything else. They were boy girls. Okay. Then they turned into real girls. We lost them.
You got out of there. Nope.
Okay. That's how it happens. Yeah. Did you ever get in a car, Lori, even just to kind of for a couple laps?
No.
No.
When we did SCCA, I would drive the car from pre-grid down to the grid and things like that. Mm-hmm. And when it came time, when we first pushed off, the very first time that the car had to be pushed off, I said, "That's it. I'm not interested unless I can turn it on myself and go." Okay. So anyway, and really, we needed just one of us to do that. We didn't have the finances or the time to hunt them up. To do 2 cars or 2 people or any of that.
So how did you 2 meet? I mean, ask that. How did you meet for the first time?
Well, over a cup of coffee.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We were working in the same place. We worked for the government for 30-some years, and we were in law enforcement type things. And I saw this beautiful gal sitting downstairs, and I said, "Hey, come on up and have a cup of coffee with me." And of course she said, "No."
I already knew his reputation.
So you had known of him already.
But that didn't last very long.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay. And then just spark after that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he asked me not long after that if I would go to the junkyard with him one day at noon. And I said, sure, I love junkyards, which I did. My dad was, he loved stuff like that. He was always building something. And so I was fine with that. And he said, oh, this is going to work.
Yeah. This is a gal for me.
I found one.
That's awesome.
Do the old double take when she said yes. Like, oh, you sure? Yeah. Oh, all right. I jump forward to Skagit here. I know I'm entering old results and I'm going through, and one name that I see in your car through the years was Rick Zeal, and Rick's a guy from down south Arizona and New Mexico, and I see him race in Arizona some. What was the connection there, and how did it come to him coming and racing Skagit quite a bit?
Well, you got a call from the USAC president.
Yeah, I did. And he wanted to know there was going to be a race at, help me, Ventura? No, not Ventura.
Way down L.A.
Paris?
Okay. Yeah. And he wanted to know, he sat at the same table we did the year before because of the championship thing. So we knew him a little, that much, just to visit at a table. And when I got the call, he said, would we be willing to put Rick in the car at Paris? And I said yes. Bob wasn't so excited about it. We didn't really know how he raced. We hadn't raced with him or anything. But I'd said yes. So anyway, so we went for it. And I think that was one of the best races we ever watched in our whole life, because Rick and Damian Gardner put on a show of a lifetime down there that race.
That was amazing. It really was.
Was that a CRA show?
That was a CRA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And USAC.
Yeah.
Okay. And what it was is that was the very first race at Paris.
Okay.
So they wanted all the champions there.
Okay.
Okay, and that's how it started. And the first time I saw Rick coming down the front straightaway with the front end off the ground, and there was a turn coming up, and he's not putting it down yet. And I'm going, that's it. The car's gone.
Yeah, get the backup ready. You head back to the shop.
But after the race, people came to us. First of all, that was my Chico car, brand new Chico car that Lori just gave away. I couldn't believe it. And so after the race, we had all these guys from SCCA come over, and they said, where'd you guys been racing? We haven't seen you around. Have you been racing, non-wing along? I said, this is the first time.
This is it right here. Race 1.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it ended up being a really good friendship and a long time relationship. And so Rick raced for us dozens of times over the year, in addition to doing his own thing and however many Southwest champions he's got and all the rest of it. And he's just a great guy.
You look at the Arizona sprint car scene, and Rick, I mean, he ran through it pretty strong. And then New Mexico, I mean, you look... Geez, back in the 80s, New Mexico had such a strong sprint car scene. They really had a lot of big guys come out of that New Mexico area, and now it's kind of non-existent. Now they got some 305 stuff down there. But Rick was one of those guys that kind of that last generation of racers that came out of that area that was on the sprint car side of things, I feel like.
That's true. With Rick, we had him in every car we've owned, including the USAC car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did really well.
Do you still keep in contact with him?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
And then Shane, I mean, Shane, you guys have been ripping some wins off with him.
We are so proud of him. I mean, he is such a good driver and such a great guy.
He's been really, really good for us. It's great to have him nearby. He's always available to help if we really need something. And that's been great for us the last few years. So, yeah.
How did you meet Shane? I know he was, when I was talking with him, he said he knew your family friends, but 04 Turkey Night was something that he had brought up, and then it kind of just, he didn't drive for you then, but that's kind of really when he started to know you guys and become better friends with you.
Yeah. Well, he was there, I think, in a 2-4 or something like that at Turkey Night, and we didn't really know him that well, but it was, I raced with his dad when he at Skagit, so I had the connection. Are you connected to this drive? So we got that kind of, figured out. But it's been a blessing to have him. Also, we can't race as much as we used to. We used to race 30 sometimes a year, and we're not doing that anymore. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 times. It's more like it, But we can run Skagit and a few other races. We also had Shane in our asphalt car. He did really well. Yeah. Which is, something I'd like to do again if we possibly could. We'll see what the series looks like.
Yeah, that's really kind of the pavement asphalt series. We'll see where it goes because it's now that's split off, and there's the dirt side and the pavement side, and then you've got the pavement series on the other side of the state that's starting to grow a little bit as well.
Did you ever have one you liked more? Like you ran both dirt and pavement, but does one have your heart more than the other?
That's kind of hard to say for me. I love the wing sprint cars and the 410s. There's nothing like it to have a 410 with all that power at your fingertips. And it's usually out of control and you're trying to control it. It's just one of those things. But the asphalt was really incredible. And that is the G-force and the turns and the speeds that we maintained. We ran the mile at 180 some miles an hour. Wow. So, it's trying to take your helmet off. It was just an experience that you just don't want to let go. I'd love to race again. It isn't going to happen.
Lori says,
no.
But when we took one of our midgets and we turned it into an asphalt car, before I put anybody into it, which I used to do all the time, I tested the cars before we turned them over. I took that car and we went over to South Sound Speedway and I got in it, and it felt almost like the USAC cars. The turns, the way the chassis felt, and those, not the speed, but it was just a lot of fun. And I thought, we could do this again. Then Lori said, no.
It's interesting you mentioned the G's because yesterday I had about an hour-long conversation with Steve Lewis, who's legendary midget car owner with 9 Racing. I mean, the drivers that race for him, incredible. And we talked for probably 10 minutes about testing at Phoenix and the amount of G-forces in the corner, and he was telling me a story about Jason Leffler testing and the G's he would pull and then Dave Darling going out, and they're trying to get on the same level. And with the G's on the pavement side, it's incredible, especially at a place like Phoenix. When when you guys ran the midgets there, that was
incredible,
intense racing. You were. I mean, I'll have to show you some of the Copper Worlds from back then. Was it Copper World Classic at Phoenix in the mid 90s was incredible. Yeah. And that was live on TV back then too. So that was some of the ESPN stuff. Hair raising, I guess, is probably the right word for it.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
It's the off season now. What does that look like for you guys as car owners? Are you out getting more sponsors?
We've been racing out of our back pocket now for, 10, 15 years. And when I was racing, we had a number of real good sponsors that were local. But then when we went to USAC and we won a championship, all of a sudden we got sponsors coming to us saying, can we sponsor your car? Okay, and that was a totally different thing.
It was like, where were you all those years?
We need you.
We could take you.
But now, what we're doing in the off season is we have a bunch of honeydews that weren't being done during race season, and so we've been painting and staining, but with the car, people think that you got several months off, you can relax. No, the car's all apart. Every nut and bolt, all those things are changed. All the bearings, the bird cages, all those things have to be repacked, redone, and changed. So, no.
And the shocks have already gone in to get redone or if needed or tested, whatever. And there's a few things on order that we don't really like how they are after last year. They need to be replaced. So
I'm looking at this picture you guys gave us. Has some of your cars on your pavement car. Is that Tom Rolfe Trucking on the side?
That's Tommy.
So is that the same Tom Rolfe that owned the 10 car back in the day that Tim Kading drove and Sammy Swindell, the Honey Run Quilters 10? That car is beautiful, white with the orange letters.
Yeah.
Sammy, I think, was one of the last guys to drive that.
That is correct, Sammy.
I still remember him. I was announcing at Knoxville in 2009 to 2013. In my first year, I believe it was 2009, Sammy was in that car at Nationals, and it was just a beautiful car.
Oh, yeah.
So how'd the connection with him come about and him to sponsor your pavement stuff?
Well, we lived in the same town.
Okay,
and his trucking business was just on the corner. And
my brother actually worked for him for 20 years or better. Yeah.
And he just became a good friend, and he really enjoyed racing at Chico.
Tom, what a character! He used to come to Bob at the races when Bob was still racing, and he'd come down, and he always helped us some. He always put some money, or we sometimes traded gravel for, anyway, just stuff like that. But he would come down and stick his head in the cockpit just before Bob went out and say, "No pressure. Just win."
It's one option.
Really put you at ease.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, really just made you breathe easy and let you know, hey, you just go beat everyone on, do what everyone else out there is trying to do, right? Yeah, I was looking at that thinking, I wonder if that's the same connection.
Yeah.
What's the SRS Motorsports stand for? I've wondered that.
Another story. Our children's names, Shelley, Rhonda, and Shannon.
Okay.
SRS. Okay, that's how we got them involved. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
What's the story behind the 7? And then, I know you were 7 and then you added the S later, correct? Or was it always the S? I felt like I've seen pictures of both.
Well, actually, we started with 80.
Okay.
That was our modified. And then we went to 09. Okay, we ran that for a number of years. And then we were racing at Chico, and 3 weeks in a row I had a car inside the cockpit with me.
Oh.
And I said, we're changing not only the color, which was kind of a reddish orange, to black, and I'm changing the number. Never been in the cockpit ever since.
Got to change the lock.
Okay.
But we were running USAC. The car was 77. Okay.
And then when we had the 277 and 7.
Okay.
And we had to put a number on or a letter on the S on the 7. And so we did that, and that's how it became 7S. And then we started winning with 7S. We're keeping it.
There you go.
Don't fix it.
The relationship with Brock, you guys got the Dirt Cup with Brock, obviously. How did that come about? And then lead me through that and then to winning Dirt Cup. I mean, you guys got Turkey Night and then which is the premier, to me, midget race on the West Coast, and then you get Dirt Cup, the premier 410 wing sprint car race on the West Coast.
My second favorite race in the whole world.
Yeah. Well, they came and stayed with us a number of times when they raced at Chico. We met them at Chico. And so we had the Lemley family, Bill.
All of them.
Yeah, Dave and everybody, and certainly Paul. And all the kids at that time, which was Brock, was just a kid. And so we knew him for a long time. And so we came up here and we always hung out together, and it just turned out to be a great relation. But the 410 win, unbelievable. We asked Brock to drive our car a number of times, and he won with the 7S. I don't know how many times.
I don't know. We had a great couple years with Brock. He was just like Shane in our cars. They can, for whatever reason, Brock loved our cars. So he got out there and did what Brock does. But Dirt Cup was really that was the culmination. That was amazing. Yeah. And I will never forget being on that blockhouse that night. Neither will anyone else forget having me up there, because I was pacing, and then when the rain started, and then it would stop, and we'd race some more. And then Steve, when it started raining the last time, Steve said 5 minutes. And I looked at my watch, and when the 5 minutes was, because we were in the lead, and when the 5 minutes was up, I was furious because he didn't call the race yet.
And ironically, that was the last year of 410s until we brought him back in 2022. So that makes that win a little bit more special, I'd imagine.
Well, it's so sad too, because we had 3 410 engines and a couple of sprint cars, and guess what? We sold them all because there was going to be no more 410s. If we had them now, what a deal that would be.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there's no way to get back in once you get out when you're like us. I mean, if we had a lot of money, that would be one thing, but we don't.
A couple $100,000 for you, just in motors.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And I mean, ours, we had just built up over the years, and that's how you could keep it going, is if you could just do that much. But
say Steve would have kept running 410s then through 2022, do you think you guys would still be running today potentially, or do you think maybe
Bob?
No question. Laura would say no, but
it is so much easier to load midget tires up on the tire rack. It is so much easier to push a midget into the trailer.
Yeah. And one of the problems we have too is that most of the crew that we had in the past, they all got too old. I don't know what happened with us. We stayed young.
Yeah, you stayed young.
And I can't think of anybody that we race with and we're involved with that are still involved with racing except Lori, and she's pushing me, so that's basically it.
What were common traits you would look for when finding someone to drive your car?
Well, that's a very good question. There has to be that connection. It's kind of like any friendship. We've had a number of people that have come to us, and we've interviewed them and those kinds of things, and they all seem pretty darn good. But there's always one that stands out. I mean, Shane stood out. His personality, his desire, his ability, and his willingness to help. That all stood out very high. But we had a lot of great drivers. I mean, Rick Zeal was another example. Just a great person. So we look for somebody with some integrity. The other thing, too, is that we've been involved with RFC, Races for Christ, for well over 25 years, I guess. And that was one of the big things for us when I was driving, is that after the races, we would give out RFC balloons and meet the crowd and the kids. And we had more people come up to us and said, I didn't know racers were involved with Jesus Christ. And I said, yeah. It's okay.
RFC is very big.
And they thought it was really kind of cool. But that was a big thing, too, to find somebody that had the same kind of feelings that we did, for the Lord.
I mean, Shane's won some races for you guys. I feel like his desire to win is about as high as anyone in that midget field that you see out there. Like, Shane, I feel like, expects nothing but a win. Like, a second is... That's a disappointment to Shane on so many levels. I mean, his fire burns hot.
Absolutely.
What's a night like with Shane when you come to the track? How much information is he feeding you? How much are you guys looking at the track? What's that relationship look like?
Go ahead.
I think one of the fun things about Shane, Bob's always been really, really good at setup, both dirt and asphalt. But with Shane, we can truly trust him to go look at the track, know what he needs, what the car needs, and make any changes we need to make. And I think he trusts that the car always shows up exactly as he expects it to, and so he can work from there and not have to. Nobody has to work as hard with this relationship because I think the trust is there.
Yeah.
And everybody's knowledge is kind of in the same place.
And we talk before we get it to the track in the shop, and I ask him if there's any changes, and normally not. I mean, there might be a minor thing here or there, but we wait until we get to the track, and he reads the track, and I trust him, at this particular time. And I haven't driven a midget. Mine was sprint cars. It's a different ball of wax, and so, his ability to read and to do what's necessary after he comes back in and said, touch it, don't touch it, or let's change this, it really has worked for us very well. Yeah.
When I moved here, I started to learn about you guys, and I love cars. I mean, I grew up in a car family, grew up in a Ford dealership, and one of the first things I heard is Bob and Lori have some incredible cars. Can you tell me about some of these cars? I heard about your Corvette, but...
That's part of the off season too,
I would imagine.
Well, there's a maintenance program on all of these cars. But no, we've had one of the recent purchases that we made, and something that there's a story behind this, but we found a Morgan, which is an English sports car.
Okay.
Handmade.
Wow.
And it's just an incredible car. I had one way back when I was in graduate school, and then I got a draft notice, and then I got the induction notice, and I had to sell the Morgan. So we've been looking for a Morgan for 50 plus years to replace the one that we lost, which was a 1958 Morgan.
Okay.
We just found, just several months ago, a 1958 Morgan that was available close by. And we had looked throughout the country, West Coast, East Coast, all over. We couldn't find any. All of a sudden, here's one in
Everett.
Oh my gosh.
Edmonds.
It's right there.
And it was reasonable.
Is that similar to what the style of car?
Yes.
So that's what they look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we went down there and we looked at it, and Lori said, "It's beautiful." I knew I had it.
Yeah. You had her, so.
Oh boy. So we got the Morgan, and but we have other English cars. We got an MG, and we have other things, and we've got lots of 50s cars. And some Model A's, and that we're working on one now that's going to be kind of neat. So we got the big shop with a lift and everything that's filled with hot rods and those kinds of things. Race cars are in the corner.
I'm all right with that.
For a while, not long.
I'm all right with that.
And then there's another shop that is the fab shop, and it's got a lift and cars and that. And then we got a 6-car garage that's filled too. So come on by, I'll show you.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. I love cars. What you guys have an old C2 Corvette?
We have a 1964
Corvette. Yep. Is that a hard top or is it soft top?
No, it's a hard top. And
327?
327.
There we go.
All numbers matching.
Oh.
Beautiful car.
Wow. Riverside red or?
Oh, it's pardon me?
Is it red? Is it the Riverside red or is it black?
No, it's white.
White?
It's
okay.
silver.
Excuse me, silver.
Okay, yep.
Silver. But it's a nice car, yeah. We made a few minor changes, so it's not totally authentic. But I have a dealer for a vintage air.
Okay.
So we put the vintage air system
there
in
we go.
which is so much nicer.
Makes life way easier. You can enjoy them. Yeah.
And it cleaned up the motor area.
Yeah. The C2 Corvette is beautiful as beautiful comes. I'm a Ford guy, but I just love cars. But the C2 Corvette is the best era of Corvettes, in my opinion, without a doubt.
It's fun. It's really fun.
And then he still has his Harley. We've got a teardrop trailer. We've got an Airstream, an old one we refurbished. It's in wonderful shape. It's great.
I remember seeing that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That looked really nice.
Yeah.
Got a lot of toys.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Keeps you young, right?
Well, it keeps us tired.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of fun.
You were mentioning, too, when you first got here, canning fruit. Mm-hmm. You have a small orchard. Mm-hmm. How big?
We don't have that many trees. We probably have 6 or 8, maybe apple trees. And we have what I call the ancient apple tree. It's down at the front of the property, and it's been there for hundreds of years.
Wow.
And it just produces and produces whatever they did. But we don't do anything with it. We go down and clean out underneath it and pick apples. That's it. And so anyway, we have tons and tons of apples every year. And then we have cherries and pears, and we have a grape arbor, and I have a little greenhouse. So we stay busy with that stuff too. Right now, there's so many apples, I don't know what to do with them unless I want to start selling them to make money to go racing.
There we go.
There you go.
I have she's 10 months old tomorrow, 10-month-old golden retriever that stays at Roy and Kim Blumenhagen's. That's not far from you guys, and they have a couple apple trees. And boy, the one apple tree, it drops apples all day long because my dog just loves to go. If I get there and first thing she does is go right to get to the apple tree. Like, nope, over here, her and Enzo. But yeah, it's crazy how many apples they produce, and it's not a big tree either by any means. And it's like, geez, when's this thing gonna stop? I imagine that keeps you pretty busy if it's picking up through all those trees.
For sure.
What's your favorite racetrack, do you think, from your time of racing? Is there one that sticks out as your favorite?
Well, there were some interesting times that we had at Irwindale. But, we came up here, like I said, in 1984, and we kept coming back. So it's got to be the connection here. Mm-hmm. But more than the racetrack, which is fantastic, and the racing, which was super, the people that we met was it was just great, and it felt like a family.
Yeah.
So I was just looking. You mentioned Laguna Seca earlier, and you ran there. What was it? The corkscrew. I mean, that's infamous.
That is so much fun.
How much fun? Yeah, the elevation drop is insane.
The car drops out from underneath you.
Wow.
Oh, it's fantastic. And hold the steering wheel straight when you come down.
What's the feeling like going through that, and especially like your Formula V car to go through that has to be, just like your stomach drops.
I closed my eyes. No, it was a lot of fun. In fact, turn 4 was just before the corkscrew.
Okay.
Turn 4, as you went underneath the bridge on the outside, it just fell off. It was a big valley down there.
Went down to Salinas.
That's right. And that's why they said you shouldn't pass on the outside. But everybody was hanging on the inside. I'm going for the lead. So I did that. And then I came over the corkscrew, but I was going way too fast. Okay, when I came down, it was scary. We were totally in the air. Not just a little bit, but just totally. And then when you come down, and then you got to turn left, and then right again, and then left again.
Yeah,
But that was fun. And it really taught me a lot about racing. The sprint cars and certainly USAC. One of the funny things that Lori used to have me on a stopwatch, and she could tell whether or not I made a mistake at all because we were hitting those clip points just perfectly, and our times were...
Well, if he was off even a tenth, I knew something had happened. It was just right on every single lap, and the preciseness of asphalt. That was one of the things I liked about USAC racing too. Everything was... it had to be pretty precise, and the changes you made were just a really small change made a huge difference on asphalt, whereas I've never driven, but dirt seems like it's a bit more forgiving in that you can make up for it sometimes with either power or,
talent.
Yeah.
Raw talent.
Yeah. Guts.
You feel like you always hear with the pavement, it's a lot of that percentage on winning is tilted towards the car and your maintenance and making sure the car's right, where dirt, sometimes just sheer will. You can will yourself to a win. Track conditions pending, obviously, but where pavement, you just have to be so dialed into that perfect spot.
Well, like the stagger, maybe a quarter of an inch. But we were racing in California, and Jimmy Sills was racing with us at that time.
Yeah.
And Lori went over to Jimmy because I was having problems. I couldn't get through the damn turn. It was pushed,
And this was dirt, though.
No, I'm talking about the one in
okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
And so Lori said,
what track was this?
What's going on? What was that? That was outside of Red Bluff, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's not the name of it.
No, it's not, but it's...
Okay.
What was that? Anyway.
And
so Jimmy said, Okay, it's pushing. Put more stagger. And Lori said, well, we've already got 1/4 of an inch. And he said, put more stagger. We put more stagger, and guess what? We made the turn. So, it really depends on the track. Certainly, it's a tight little track at that point, and go from there.
Would you guys run with Jimmy a lot back in the day?
Jimmy also drove our car.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah.
He drove here at Skagit for us.
Yeah, because Jimmy, Dirt Cup is kind of what Jimmy is.
Yeah.
Right.
He's so closely tied to Dirt Cup because he was so good at Dirt Cup.
Another story. Lori got a call from Jimmy.
And he said, he supposedly had retired, one of the many times. And he called and he said, I just won the Masters and I'm feeling pretty racy. And I heard Bob has a new car up there. Any chance I could drive it?
I'm racing in California with the USAC group. She takes the whole group and goes here and races at Skagit with my new car.
She'll handle it. Yeah. Gloria, it's handled.
But one of the fun things about Jimmy, afterwards, we'd sit around and talk all night long, stories. Great. Have you read his book?
I have not yet, but I have it in my list. It's on there.
Oh,
He's got a book.
It's
out
awesome.
There I'll find it for you, Eric. It's there.
Yeah.
I know it's ironic you mentioned Jimmy because we had Trey Starks on last week and we talked about Jimmy's driving school, and Trey said they bought how they got into sprint car racing. They bought a trailer and they were going to go pavement racing because that's what his dad John did, and he bought a trailer out of, was it Montana?
Yeah, Montana. That was
had sprint cars in it.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. So where did he learn to drive a sprint car? They went down to Jimmy Sills driving school, which is so common for so many drivers through the years, and that's kind of neat that. Here he comes up again. It's
funny how small
Speedway, full circle.
What was Jimmy Still's driving school kind of like? I don't know much about it.
We only went down there a couple times because we already knew him and we're already racing.
Way south, wouldn't he? Like Ventura
he's like
or something like that?
No, Roseville.
Okay,
Roseville,
there you go.
Yeah. And it just looked like any other dirt track to me. I didn't nothing real fancy, and it had buildings kind of like the old buildings here at Skagit. And but boy, could he's a great teacher.
Yep. Yeah,
he really is a great teacher.
I got a story.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where this is going.
we were at Chico, and that's when he had the the 2-seater. Okay.
Yep.
And
I've seen the pictures.
Okay, and so he came over and he says, "What if I take Lori for a ride?" And I said, I don't know. I want you you can ask her, but I'm a little concerned. So he goes over and talks to Lori, and Lori says, of course, sure.
I'll go.
So he puts Lori in the car, and the seat's way too big for Lori. I mean,
it was almost a bench seat he had in this thing. I'm not kidding you.
Really?
And it had a steering wheel, thank God. And I didn't have anything, so he gives me this loaner helmet, which was way too big for me. And then they strap me into this bench seat, and we go out there, and oh my God, I finally learned you need a helmet that fits. I mean, I'd heard this all these years. You got to buy a new helmet. It's got to fit. You got to have your seat belts. You got to have your seat. I went, okay, I'm a believer now. That's for sure. But anyway, he just really laid into it to get Bob, I'm sure.
He had that thing on 2 wheels on every turn. And I'm going, Jimmy, I'm going to kill you.
And so my helmet would come down, and I just started doing, Bob used to tease. He'd say, you just 1, 2, 3, turn. Because you couldn't see a lot of times on the track, the lighting you were talking about and all that. He said, you get into one of those, 1, 2, 3, turn. And I'm going, 1, 2, 3, turn. I hope there aren't too many more of these. I am done.
So you wouldn't do it again?
I'd do it again. It was
fun. That's cool. I mean, to get Jimmy is a legend. That's a neat story. You got to ride with Jimmy Sills. I can picture him, curly hair.
Yeah, buckwheat.
Buckwheat. That's right.
Yep.
And he came up here as Luke
Warmwater.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we registered him at that time. He came up.
That was
warm water.
That was kind of Jimmy's pseudo name. He was synonymous with registering as Luke Warmwater all over the country. If he didn't want to register as Jimmy Sills,
that's right.
It was like Tony Stewart one year. Joe Gibbs wouldn't let him run the Chili Bowl. We ran the Chili Bowl as Smoke Johnson.
Is that right?
It was Smoke Johnson at the Chili Bowl one year, and that kind of comes from the Jimmy Sills school of being Luke Warmwater. That's a guy we need to sometime get on to because he's a legend.
And he is so fun. I mean, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, he'd be still telling stories. Everybody's in our shop laughing. It's great. He's a good guy.
So we get another 7S next year. Going to gun for the title again in 2026.
It's up to Lori.
It's up to Shane.
Well, if it's up to Shane, I would imagine you'll be going for another track title next year.
He's already been over saying, any chance we can do this again next year?
We'll see how we can do it. It's really hard to give this up. It really is. I mean, like all of you guys, it's so much fun to be with you. And
we appreciate it.
Well, appreciate you guys. And it keeps us young, connected with younger folks. If we looked at our current group of people that we used to race with, they're all talking about their latest operation.
You're talking about your latest race.
Yeah.
That's much more fun
they
than talking.
No idea who we are.
That's much more fun than talking about the latest operation, I imagine.
It's even like our kids; they just can't believe it either. I mean, they look at us thinking, "What are you doing to poor mom?" And I says, "What mom doing to me?"
Yeah. Do they still live up here, or are they
all in California?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get down there to see them quite a bit during the off season. Is it off season? You maybe get down there. Or?
They have their own life, and they're doing their own thing, and they have their own children. We have 5 grandsons.
Wow. Okay.
3 daughters. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, 3 daughters, 5 grandsons.
But no, they're real busy, and it's a little hard to get together. But they come up.
Okay.
Yeah. Any of your grandsons race at all?
No.
No, they're not interested. We have one that played professional basketball. But that was about it.
And 2 that played football
and
their whole life.
Yeah.
But
that's about it.
And another baseball player.
Yeah, another.
But
so they're active.
They're sports nuts, all of them.
But they don't want any part of racing. Yeah, they look at us and they go, "Oh no! If this is what you turn out, no way."
No thanks.
Got a chance to ask this question to Trey. I want to pose it to you with your vast background. Is there anything still left on your bucket list that you want to do racing wise, whether it's a race you want to attend, a car you maybe still hope to drive or own?
No, I like to drive better.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's really interesting. That's a good question.
Or any event or race you just want to go to as a spectator?
I'm a terrible spectator. I'm sorry. I don't like to watch races. If I'm not involved with it, it doesn't mean anything to me at all. I mean, I like my friends and I look at them and they did a good job or whatever, and I enjoy watching them run. But sitting in the stands or doing that kind of stuff, no, I just can't do it. But the 410s that got me. If Lori would just part with a little bit of her money,
We'll work on that for you. We could use another 410 here weekly. I like that.
Yeah.
Lori, for you, any bucket list?
No, I don't know. I've always kidded that one thing I've always wanted to do was to go to Florida to the Daytona.
Okay.
And I haven't ever done that. And it's right near my birthday. I've always thought he should send me there for my birthday. But never happened.
We're not racing here, so there we go.
If you send her, maybe you'll get the 410.
Yeah.
If you ever thought of that one, there you go.
I like you guys.
There you go. Hang out with us more often. We come up with ideas.
Florida in February is much nicer than Skagit County in February. I can tell you that much.
You can go down to Volusia.
You go watch the 410s run at Volusia. Well, that week will be the late models, but the 410s run the week before.
Yeah.
But Volusia's 20 minutes away, so that's nice. And
you've been there.
Oh yeah, I think I've been to 6 or 7 500s, and
nice.
Volusia was 10 years straight. Wow. So yeah, the 500s. You can't see as much, but it's the atmosphere and
and
everything that goes around with being in there, and it's literally, it's in a neighborhood. It's on a main road.
Where'd you stay at Indy?
I lived in Avon, which is on the west side of Indy. I lived there for 9.5, 10 years. So that's where I lived when I worked for Tony.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in Columbus, about an hour south of there, but I lived in Avon because my office was at TSR, so that was in Brownsburg, just 10 minutes, a 10-minute drive every day.
We loved Brownsburg.
Yeah, Brownsburg's a great little city.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, all the racing there, shoot. Yeah. In our business complex, Steve Lewis that's where he was set up, but not anymore, obviously, but all the drag teams are right there. John Force was at the front of our complex. I drove past his shop every day. It was a block away, and Graham Rahal that ran IndyCar, Bobby's son. He had his. I mean, I loved it because he has a car shop that sells just incredible cars. I mean, the highest end cars. So I was constantly googling down there the Superbirds, and I mean, he had a LaFerrari a couple times. It's the most expensive Ferrari in the world right now, and I mean, just incredible. And he has Ducati dealership, and then Cruz Pedregon shop was right next door. Wow. It was just racer central. I mean,
I know where we want to go.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Go do that again.
You go to Bricker's Pub in Brownsburg, and it's got the wing that Donnie ran at the Nationals in 2009. That was the orange STP wing that was a carbon copy of Mario's 69 STP car he won the 500 in. Wow. And it's just you sit at the bar at Bricker's Pub, which is just in a little strip mall, and it's just open your ears because it's just racers everywhere, whether it's IndyCar,
and it is
drag racing, sprint cars, midgets.
Sure.
And Indy is such an incredible place. I mean, it really is when you think about it. I mean, I was so pleased when Chance got to move back there and do some things he's doing, and one of our friends who raced with us at Chico and then nearly raced in some of our other cars, Jason York, is now back there, and when Drake's doing and so it's kind of neat that all that.
Jason's working on Indy cars right now.
That's right.
Yes,
he just got inducted into the California Sprint Car or California Motorsports Hall of Fame, or I saw a Hall of Fame down there in California. I saw because he's really great racing.
And Cody Swanson.
And Cody,
Cody. I'm in a group chat with Cody that goes off every day.
Cool.
Cody and Justin Grant and Kevin Thomas Jr.
What a wonderful guy.
He keeps us in line because Cody's the very straight-laced and very proper, indeed. And we are. The rest of us are all racers, and we have to apologize to Cody. Sorry, Cody. Sorry I said that, Cody.
Yeah,
Cody is.
What a good
just
guy.
An incredible human being.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He is.
I feel for Cody because if he just came around 10 years too late, because there's no reason he shouldn't have got a shot at Indy or in NASCAR. I mean, he's one of the best pavement racers of our generation.
Absolutely.
And Bobby Santos came just before him, and Bobby and then Cody just carries that torch so well.
He does.
And he's just an incredible human being.
He is. And Jordan, she's
Jordan's
amazing.
Great.
I had a great time with
Cody's
her.
brother Tanner is great too.
Oh, yeah.
Tanner's
What a
awesome.
character.
Tanner, he is funny.
He is.
He was a little wilder.
Yeah, and Tanner was much more adept on the dirt than Cody. I remember the year I announced for USAC, it was Cody and Tanner were teammates at Wilkie Pack, and identical cars, and it was like you think they were absolutely identical.
Yeah,
but you could look at how they were racing, and be like, yep, there's Tanner, there's Cody.
That's great.
How did you guys first get Cody in your car?
Well, we must have. Where did we know them from? Anyway, they bought a car from us.
Okay.
They came up here to buy it, so that would have been 2003, maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember.
And it was a great experience too. The whole family came.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Darla filmed every single thing the guys did, which was new to us, but she had been doing it at races too. And so Bob went through setup with them, showed them how everything on the car worked. The guys all did their thing. Darla filmed it all, and they took all my records and made copies of them because I'd always kept meticulous records everywhere we went, and I had these forms. And it had to have been 5 years later, we were somewhere at a race, and Mike was taking care of the car for Cody still at that point. And I look, and he's got these forms that you can't hardly even read anymore. He's just made copies. He hasn't changed anything. He's just using my old forms. And I thought, this is crazy, but it worked for him.
Cody might still be using them because we'll give him a hard time in the chat. Like, Cody, what'd you do here? And he'll send a screenshot in the group chat of what he did on this night. And it's a form filled out, neat handwriting and everything, how the car's set up.
What were these?
Cody's so meticulous.
Oh, yeah.
What did those forms look like? Like, what did you have on your forms?
I just have we have checklists. I have one for Bob, one for me before we go. And then at the track, I have kind of a pre and a post. And it has shocks and gears and everything that you would need to know, what stagger we're running, how much air pressure, all of that, what we went out with, and then what we came in with, where we finished, where we started. They're fairly simple, but they got pretty much everything you need.
Yeah.
Worked for me.
Hey, that's all that
Works
matters,
quite
right?
well, I would say. Yeah, Cody he's one of a kind, that's for sure.
Oh, he's great.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
you.
We really
Thank you.
appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot, and I hope everyone listening has really enjoyed. So thank you guys for all you do for Skagit and supporting us, bringing a car and coming on for the podcast. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we look forward to Lori getting to Daytona and you getting your 410.
Okay, let's do it together.
It works out well for all of us.
Where do I sleep?
Yeah, I know. We can get you a spot here. We got a nice spare room right here. If you get a nice shade in there. I know.
It's heated in the wintertime.
Yeah,
Rent minimal.
Got Wi-Fi for you.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate
that was
it.
great.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a fun chat
was
with
so
Bob and
fun,
Lori
Blake.
Scott. I enjoyed that. They had some great stories and a really rich racing history from really up and down the West Coast too, as we found out, all over the country, and as a matter of fact. But yeah, that was fun, and looking forward to seeing hopefully them back again next year. See if they can defend that track championship with Shane Smith. Shane was on it this year, as always. He just kind of kills you by top threes, gets those wins, but rarely gives you a point where you can gain points on him.
And that's, I think, what they kind of look for. I mean, we talked about him, what they looked for in drivers, and Shane fits that. He's got that fire, but he's a good guy. He can read the track and give you setup knowledge like we talked about, and he knows what he needs in the car, and it shows on the track. He never missed the top 5. I mean, he's a hard racer. He won the championship. It was a deserved championship.
Yeah, absolutely was. The off-season hits, it was interesting to kind of listen to them talk about what they're going to do in the off-season. Off-season picking up here is we're getting closer to trying to figure out things for next year, closing in on Warpa here in a couple of weeks, and the sprint car silly season is in full swing. As announced yesterday, Tanner Holmes going to go in the Buick 13, so that's a car that you can expect to see out here for the Skagit Nationals. I haven't asked Tanner what his plans are for Dirt Cup, if they plan to be out here or he plans to be back in the family kart Dirt Cup. That's a long ways away, so I'm sure that that's maybe not ironed out yet, but I would imagine if Tanner runs Dirt Cup, it'd probably be in the family 18 or right on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I don't envision the Buick car coming all the way out here because they're based in central Pennsylvania.
But he's trying to get out here from what I gather, too.
I would imagine Tanner loves Skagit, so that's exciting and well-deserved for Tanner Holmes, absolutely.
I think, we saw how good Dason Pursley was in the car, how good Justin Peck was in the car before he went to Radine. It's a car that's fast. It's a car that has speed. It's grown young talent. Jason Pursley, a prime example of that, and it's proven for him to now go off and go where he's going.
He's partnered with. He's going to be in the Casey Kane Racing 9 next year with Napa backing, so they're kind of meld the 49 and the 9 there. And I don't think Brad Sweet. I don't necessarily know if his racing career is closed. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brad run next year at just premier events and major events, and kind of a pick and choose schedule for him as he starts to swing his focuses. And obviously, this weekend is the final NARC race under Jim Allen's guidance, and then next week Kevin and John and Brad take things over, but they're already full steam ahead on planning and getting things rolling there and working on a schedule and all that, so that'll be exciting. But the NARC race is going to be fun to watch on Saturday night. You can watch that on Flow Racing, and that NARC points battle is phenomenal.
It's been close all year long.
It has.
Really. We've seen guys come up here that are running really tight in the NARC, and it's always a good points battle. NARC is a good series on the West Coast that is just going to keep growing with Kevin and John and the new ownership. It's going to be a lot of fun.
See an injection of money, but we'll see if DJ Neto can hang on for his second NARC championship, or Sean Becker's in second. I think he's 15 points back. He's in the mix, and Bud Kading in third, a former NARC champion there. So 3 former NARC champions in the mix, and Sean Becker trying to win his second NARC championship, his first one coming 20 years ago in 2005. So that's really neat that the Shark's still in the mix. But that'll be Saturday night at Stockton Dirt Track. It's the Gary Patterson tribute race, the California racing icon with Gary Patterson. So that'll be Saturday night. SCCT wraps up Friday, but they're on CaliDirt.tv, a speed sport platform. But Austin Wood trying to wrap up the championship there. And you talk about a young 15-year-old with a lot of skill. That's Austin Wood. I mean, we are kind of blessed. We've talked about the West Coast talent, and boy, you look at between Austin Wood, Levi Hillier, and Jet Barnes, we're sitting pretty good with young 14, 15-year-old talent that I would imagine we won't see for too terribly long on the West Coast.
I feel like people in years past, the West Coast didn't have the same names it did, but now the West Coast is grown to be just as big as a competitor to the East Coast, and everyone running over there with growing big name guys. Is it fair to say Kyle Larson probably pioneered a little bit of that for the West Coast?
I mean, I think he probably reinvigorated that for sure. He kind of got that lifeline, the heartbeat back going. But
it's been fun to see it all.
Yeah, we've been lucky. So we'll see. I mean, Dirt Cup is around the corner. That's that's our first premier event of the 2026 schedule, and we'll have some dates on that here. I would imagine the next month or so. Yeah. We'll hopefully have our schedule out, but that's going to be fun, and you never know what Kev and John have up their sleeve. I mean, last year it wasn't really planned at this time to be a six-figure payday, and here we are. We rolled in about 3 weeks before and dropped the bomb that it's going to pay $100,000, and they did the same at Skagit National. So I never know what Kev and John have up their sleeves, but it's going to be fun. And
I'm excited.
We'll be at it before too long, but the Outlaws close up their season next week. Mm-hmm. They're at World Finals, so we'll talk about that a little bit next week, I imagine, in next week's episode. But this week,
it'll be fun to watch those new drivers, Pursley and Tanner Holmes, because they'll both be there at World Finals and
new rides.
Yeah, kind of the first iteration of those starts.
And we'll also see Spencer Baston in a Stenhouse Junior Marshall 17 car. So and that we see that so often through the years. I guess we can talk about a little now is guys start to get their feet wet.
Yep.
In new rides. It's kind of depressing. I was counting. We have, I think, 12 410 races left in.
That all it is?
In the United States this year. Australia is really starting to pick up, and we'll cover a little bit of that this winter. But it's going to be a hectic couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of dominoes to fall in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and PRI is the first week of December, and that's really when I imagine we'll have the Outlaw schedule by then. We'll have the High Limit schedule by then, or at PRI. I feel like, I mean, with the All-Stars, that's always where we tried to drop our schedule at the latest PRI. A lot of years we were able to get it out by Thanksgiving, but if we didn't, then we just saved it for PRI. But that's kind of schedule announcement time, ride announcement time. We'll see if any guys are flipping series. Well, I'm sure we'll know by PRI.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Announcement season is around the corner, and we'll be back at it before too long. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
I know
it's almost already November.
Yeah, where it's October 30th as we're recording this and getting ready to drop this episode, and tomorrow's Halloween, and
I know
Saturday is November 1st.
Where's the time went?
And
October's
USAC midgets go for the rest of the month, and they've got a little title hunt going there, so that'll be exciting. If you've got a Flow Racing subscription, to stay tuned into that. Next weekend, World Finals, that's all on Dirt Vision, so we'll be tuned into that, I'm sure, watching that. I enjoy watching the late models, and a month away from the Dome. And
that's a bucket list race, because I feel like, or at least for me, because you can see the sprint cars, but you can see the late models, you can see the big blocks. It's one of few places where you can really see.
It's the only place we can see all three
touring series, but see all three divisions like that at one point.
Yeah, because Volusia that we talked about with Bob and Lori, they run, but the sprint cars run week 1 with the Dirt Car UMP modifieds, and then week 2 they come back with the late models and the big blocks. So you can't see them all at once. But World Finals, 4 days of racing, 4 days of premier.
Yeah.
3 series racing.
It's a bucket list I want to see.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we'll see Ricky Thornton Jr. in a sprint car at World Finals. I think that's the plan. Last I knew was for him to drive for Bernie and Betsy Stubjen in the 71, Indy Race Parts 71. So that'll be cool. I'm excited to see where things shake out, though. Schedules shake out. There's a lot of rumors floating around on how schedules are going to break down. So it'll give us some content to cover.
It will very much so. I'm excited. I think some of the rumors will come true, but I think some of it will just be
rumors.
You're correct. It's all hearsay until it comes out.
Yep. And once we get our schedule out, you and I will do a breakdown on that and kind of talk through the season, and we'll get rolling through that. I know next year, I mean, we brought up Levi Hillier. He'll be in a 410 next year, so that we'll get a 410 there. Mm-hmm. Maybe Lori will get her trip to the Daytona 500, and Bob will get his 410. But
keep the fingers crossed.
Nonetheless, I think that there's some rumors of some Skagit teams looking for motors and trying to find some motors in a 410. So there's a potential we might add a 410 or two. And, I some rumors of maybe some of our 410 teams doing a little bit of traveling, but we battle that every year. And obviously if they do, we hope they go out and wave wave our Skagit banner with pride and represent well.
And we'll see even more drivers like Sporties coming up.
Yeah,
drivers moving 360s. It's a healthy sprint car class here.
And I think a lot of that goes back to what we've talked about so often, the Deming ladder. The Deming ladder. I mentioned to Bob and Lori, I talked with Steve Lewis yesterday, and Steve's from California, and he even mentioned that's great that we've got that ladder going and working, and Steve pays attention. So that was cool. But it's going to be an interesting next 6 weeks. And then we get through those 6 weeks, and then it's indoor season, and we'll have talking about that, and you'll have a couple episodes where you'll be recording by yourself because I'll be out on the road in St. Louis and in Tulsa, and then we'll be back.
Maybe you can call in. Well, maybe you can call in. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends when we can record, and those days get hectic, especially in Tulsa. But
true.
St. Louis as well, because we go all day. Because St. Louis, we start at 11 o'clock in the morning. Wow. But nonetheless, gives you guys something to watch in the office. You and Lisa will have some entertainment. And we've got our employee party this weekend, which will be fun to kind of get everyone together and celebrate a successful 2025. And
thank you to everyone.
Yeah, thank you all your listeners. We appreciate it, and share the podcast. Help us grow this a little bit. We're trying to get it growing as we're kind of Skagit centric now, but we had our weekly meeting this past week, and John said we could kind of spread our wings a little bit. So we'll work on some more national guests. I've got a couple ideas, and maybe get some different promoters on to see how their season, off season, what they've got for an off season. I've got a couple ideas there, and
we've got vast different ways we want to take this. Like it'll always revolve partially around Skagit, but
well, at least we want to Skagit news and notes. Yeah,
we want to keep it everywhere, and Blake and I have fun with it.
It'll be fun.
You enjoy listening.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure to give our YouTube channel a like and subscribe, and check out those videos. We're going to drop. We're planning to drop 2 classic videos a week. So we've got the recorder going.
Yes, we do.
Is
there one recording right now?
No, because I didn't want to in case that file was too big.
Smart. So good thinking.
Nonetheless, we will have some 1997 race. We'll drop a 1997 race tomorrow, because that's pretty much all we've got in the Rolodex right now. But I've got a stack of 1986 races sitting in there in the office too. So maybe we could record one of those and get rolling on that. But make sure to like our videos on YouTube and subscribe. That really helps us in the algorithm. I know it's cliche to say that, but
it does.
It does help us get in the algorithm a little bit more. If a video is getting a lot of likes, that means that you like it, obviously. So then it wants to show that video to more fans, and that's how we can continue to grow at Skagit Speedway, because we've seen a lot of growth across our social media channels. And Eric's got a lot of YouTube shorts for me sitting in the hopper, and he's got more coming, and we've got a lot of TikToks coming.
More interviews, and
we are working hard to keep things going, and that's all in part to you listeners. So we appreciate it, and we'll see everyone next Thursday, Eric?
Yeah, we'll see you next Thursday again. We'll have another fun guest on. Other than that, take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone.